Okay, Narnians, it's official. Looks like it's going to be Fox that we're going to be dealing with for a while. It's just over a month that Disney dropped Narnia, and now Fox. Fox and Walden Media will be adapting Voyage of the Dawn Treader. I just learned about this about an hour ago, I guess, and I quickly got a report up. My thoughts right now, I don't really have a whole lot, honestly, which might be kind of shocking. I mean, their last thing they did was Aragon. I mean, to be honest, it's Walden's ballgame here, you know? I mean, Fox, I mean, it looks like it's going to be, as far as we know, this kind of the same deal as Disney, as far as, you know, it's Walden really making the film. Fox will do marketing and distribution. And, interestingly enough, this comes on Will Poulter's birthday, this news. And that's kind of the question that Jim Fan and I were just talking about. And the reason it came up is that they say they're going to be shooting at the end of summer for a holiday 2010 release. First off, thank God, holiday 2010 release. We already kind of knew that's what Walden wanted, but it looks like they're shooting for that. And how will this affect? I mean, there were already some concerns about Will Poulter being too old, even before this. Obviously, I think the main thing is that he'd be obviously younger than Lucy. Now, obviously, you know, Georgie and Will Poulter are aging at the same rate, barring some, you know, bizarre disruption in the space-time continuum. I would imagine that's how it works. But yeah, I do think it's important that Will Poulter be shorter and smaller than Lucy. They always thought that was kind of an important part of Eustace's character, that he was this annoying little guy who would sort of, you know, talk down to people, even though he was shorter than them. I thought that was kind of an important part of the character, of him almost kind of realize, you know, because Lewis says he figures out that he's not as, you know, he began to wonder if he was really such a wonderful person, and he almost realized, you know, it's like he starts to really see what he is. He's just this little guy, you know, talking down to people. But I'm just rambling now. This confirms what, you know, there was a lot of, the possibility existed that Dawn Treader was not going to get made. I thought it would, but it's sure nice to have that, you know, small possibility be gone now. Fox is they're gonna be doing it. And there's also this news of the most recent draft was done by Richard LaGravance. I'm sure in time I'll learn to pronounce that. But that he wrote the most recent draft that Walden and Fox were happy with of the script. And now, right now, it still sounds like they're really wrestling with the script. They haven't really nailed it down yet. In the budget either, we're expecting $140 million, which is, like the article says, a lot less than it's a lot less. Well, yeah, a lot less than Prince Caspian, which is probably a good thing, you know? I mean, I think in general, Narnia fans kind of felt like, you know, they probably should have spent less on Prince Caspian, made it not such a big film. If they hadn't, you know, $420 million, that's really, people forget, that's really not a bad number. Not that many films make that much money. It's in the top 100 films of all time. It's not a smash hit, but hey, very few films make that much money. That's considered a success. But they spent so much on it that it's not considered a success. So now we're going to be working on Voyage of the Dawn Treader now. The big difference with my approach to Dawn Treader as an adaptation versus Prince Caspian, there are actually very many. Fundamentally, they're different. With Prince Caspian, my approach was always, the book, there's not much in the book that can really work in a movie, you know, and gosh, this really is not meant to be a movie. Can we just find a way to get past Prince Caspian so we can get on with the rest of the series? Let's just try to keep it intact as much as we can, which isn't very much. So many changes were necessary, so that we can get on with the books that people really love. And even though I love Prince Caspian, like, and there are a lot of interesting ideas in it, but it's not supposed to be a movie, clearly, you know? It's just not, that's just such an uncinematic book. So many things where I was like, yeah, they gotta change that. It's not the case with Dawn Treader. Well, with Dawn Treader, I'm going to be a little closer to how I was with Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, where obviously every book has certain things that you have to change to kind of make it more movie-esque. But at the end of the day, Dawn Treader does not require the dramatic surgery it took to bring Caspian to the screen, not even close. Sure, there are problems, but it's a much more, you know, linear story, and it's much more suited for film. And like the LA Times was saying, it's a much more commercial film, I think, than Prince Caspian. Much easier to market. And, of course, it's also my favorite book. Prince Caspian was my least favorite book. Dawn Treader is my favorite book ever. I don't even think I'm talking just Narnia book, necessarily. I think it's probably my favorite book ever. So there's a lot more things that I'm attached to. There's a lot more things where I might say that they can't change that. And maybe I don't necessarily have a good reason for it beyond, but I love that scene. It just won't be Voyage of the Dawn Treader without it. Prince Caspian didn't have very many things like that. Dawn Treader has a lot of them. So I'm going to be more of a purist, for sure, I think, than I was with Prince Caspian. I'll be less open to changes. But right now... Oh, there's an interesting fact, by the way, that I discovered when I was researching Fox. Fox is owned by News Corp, and News Corp also owns HarperCollins, which is the company that publishes the Chronicles of Narnia. Is that a factor at all? I don't know. I've only kind of just begun to think about it. But I thought that was interesting, that News Corp owns the company that's making the movie and the company that's publishing the book. That's interesting. I wonder if there might be positive or negative effects, or maybe no effect at all. I don't know. But I haven't really had a chance to see what the general reaction on NarniaWeb is right now. My guess is most people are just kind of, well, let's just be glad it's getting made at all. I think most people were hoping for Warner Brothers. Although, honestly, I'm kind of glad that it's a smaller studio, because I just think what happened with Disney was... They're so big, they have so many competing interests, so many people invested in the company, that it's very hard for them to take risks, because they're risking so much. I think it's better to have a smaller company, smaller budget, to do this in. And maybe that means, they can't have a huge variety of locations, or maybe they can't do as many visual effects, but overall I think it's probably better. Warner Brothers is a much bigger studio, and so I think overall this is a good thing. But, so now we just have to sit and wait, of course, and see what happens. And I'm so excited. I really am more excited for this movie than Prince Caspian, of course. It's my favorite book, and it's one of those things where it's like, this would be a really cool movie. And I don't know what else to say. I'm going to go back and do some more research on Fox. But Fox, welcome to the land of Narnia, for good or for ill. We'll see how it works out. And as always, further up and further in.
Time is short, and Aslan himself has asked me to gather more troops.